Yeah, so I mean, like 25, the balance is made up of predominantly one bed. So we've got about 23 one beds available and two beds available. The two beds, or the two beds, are starting at 2.89 million. That's the launch day price, that's inclusive of furnishings. So that is your launch day price with your 50 grand discount. And then your one beds you're looking at between 1.94 million and about 2.64 million, and those range between 35 and 45 squares. I think, from a yield perspective, for context, I think Jonathan's brought it in quite nicely. Sam's also really elevated the experience that Ridderhex, is going to bring. But I think, because we believe this is a proper investor market, it's an investor product. The people coming in and the smart investors are going to not necessarily look at the product offering and the success and the credibility of the developer, but definitely about what's happening on the ground. And I think Ridderheck is a great example of a thriving artisanal community where there's a culture there and a hub of activity and life, that's happening now, but obviously has a massive growth potential over the coming years, especially with the key sort of development infrastructure that's taking place, the investment that's happening at the moment. Like over 1 billion has already been put in by private developers for the transformation and the rejuvenation of the area. And I think some of the elements, like Sam put it out nicely, in a day in the life of someone living in or staying in Ridderhoek, and Jonathan talking about some of the key areas like the flower market, the dog's bollocks, even further up the drag, 12 Bulls, which is, it's all of these things are bringing in this culture, this coffee culture, this nightlife experience, this market experience, this active outdoor lifestyle with your proximity to the mountain and Lion's Head and the beaches just down the street. And I think from an investor perspective, you're looking at all of those things over and above just the financial aspects of it. And I think, with the demand that this, location in this area and the space is going to be creating, I think from a returns perspective, the guys are going to be pretty happy with their success. And I think, we've calculated based on the specific returns, and you're looking at about 8.5%, 8.6% net yields across average across both the two and the one beds. And just taking into consideration that BlackBrick's average is from an occupancy is about 75%. And that's relative, and that's actual information and data based on their current active products that are operating at the moment. And if you take a step back and look at what the average is within Cape Town from a short stay perspective, it's 71%. So you can see there's a definite demand for the brand and the equity that BlackBrick does bring into an area.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I mean, if you had to talk monetary terms in terms of rental income that we expect for a typical one bed and a typical two bed?
So your typical one bed, like the average monthly rental, you're probably going to be looking at, between, well, I suppose from a gross perspective, you're looking at about an average of 20 grand a month. Net, less the costs, and then obviously less there's a management fee that comes on it, so it's probably between 15 and 17.5 grand a month, which is going to give you that net yield of between 8.1 and 8.7%, which is, again, from an investment perspective, when you're starting off in the higher sort of realm of 8-9%, it really whets the appetite for those guys looking to get a kickstart into their property career, but also those guys who are just growing their portfolios through specific investments and key developments and key nodes and regions and growth areas where they know that the demand is going to generate the revenue.